Oh yeah.
All right, there we go.
Continue.
All right. I'm not paying for Zoom currently, so I think we only got 40 minutes, but I think that should be more than enough time.
That's all right. Yeah.
So we're back
The long-awaited
after.
return.
I didn't check the YouTube channel. I probably should have checked it to see when our last one
several
was.
months. It's been several months.
It's
Here
been
we
since
are.
before I moved to a new place.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was
So
before I was married.
There you go. See?
So it's been a hot minute, but
Mhm.
we're back. I guess I'll probably upload this to the YouTube channel
Sure.
just for historical sake.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we watched Van Helsing 2004.
Yes, we did.
Mark, you just from messages, it sounded like you like this movie. So why don't you give us a brief, which should be pretty easy to do, a brief summary.
Okay, well, there's a man.
Emphasis on brief.
Yeah, I'll be quick. There's basically a hunter called Van Helsing. That's kind of like his. I don't know what you call like the other names that people go by, but that's his name. And he basically tries to hunt. He kills a bunch of fictional monsters from various popular media, such as Frankenstein, not in this sense, but he hunts down Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He hunts down like zombies. Zombies exist and vampires exist, and basically his whole goal is to defeat Dracula. And that's basically the movie.
That is basically the movie. Oh,
That's
hello,
it.
Father.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad.
He can't
He
hear.
can't hear
Matthew
you.
has
Yeah.
his
That's
his
right, yeah.
headphone.
But you're
I'll
wave to him.
Okay, so Mark, since you gave us the summary. Well, I picked the movie. Let's back up. I picked the movie.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. I came to this discussion like ready to defend this movie to like the death because I have like a very good nostalgic aura around it. Like
Sure.
we watched it all the time growing up. At least I did. Mark said this was his first time watching it.
Yeah.
I this is the first time I've seen it.
What the heck?
Yeah. This isn't the first time.
See, I don't get
No,
it.
it's not the first time.
Okay.
I've seen it before.
It's my first time.
Yeah, Mark's the only one who hasn't seen it yet.
Mark hasn't ever seen Van Helsing.
No, he hasn't. I know. Yeah, he's only seen it once.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So, I came here ready to defend it. Like
Yeah.
I was like, man, like Van Helsing, like why did it never get a sequel? Why did it just like bomb and we never got another one? Because it just seems like, at least in my mind going into this, like it just seemed prime real estate for sequels and spin-offs or whatever.
You got so many monsters you could talk about and have them hunt down.
And we'll get to that, but 2004, right? Like Hugh Jackman is at the top of his game. Like this came out right as like X2, X-Men United was coming out, right?
I was just thinking about X-Men. Maybe the same time.
As Mark mentioned, this is Stephen Sommers, who had done Mummy and Mummy Returns. And so he was like the blockbuster guy, right? He had made Universal Studios a shit ton of money already.
That's right.
So it's like all the stars were aligned, right? You got Hugh Jackman, you got Kate Beckinsale, who I guess was doing the Underworld movies at this time, and they were like in the similar vein where it's like vampires and werewolves, right? And those were big hits, I guess. I don't even think I've seen them all the way through, any of them. Anyway, all that to say, this movie was dog shit.
It's dumb.
This movie was dog shit.
This movie's
was
dumb.
Like, oh my god, this movie is so bad. And we'll get to everything I hate about it. But
I would say it's so bad that it's good, actually.
Man,
I would put it there.
Okay, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it
There
either.
is some stuff that I enjoyed about it.
Yeah.
But man, so spoilers. I won't even say. We'll say ratings to the end because I guess we're still doing that. I looked at my IMDb, and I guess just from memory, I had rated it at some point. I had it at a 7 out of 10. Well, let me tell you, it is not that rating anymore.
Is it?
I'll just say that right now. I'll wait till the end to give it away. But wow. I have like 6 pages worth of notes.
Mhm.
So, but sorry to take a giant crap on the discussion before we even start, but
No,
I
that's
just
fine.
I just had a visceral reaction watching this.
If you hadn't done it, I would have.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean Stephen Summers, right? And there's even like a little bit of connective tissue between Van Helsing and the Mummy, because the guy who plays Igor, he's from the Mummy. He's the guy who plays the little guy who's got all the religious symbols, and he's always
Oh yeah.
Okay.
that's
That makes
him. He's
sense.
Igor, so that's like a carryover. And just like tonally, it's very similar.
Mhm.
I think
Yes.
the Mummy's a little bit darker and more serious, and the villain is actually like kind of menacing. I like Dracula in this. I think he's him and his wives are probably like the only people who tonally are like on point.
Yes.
They're just like
understood.
They're like Emperor Palpatine levels of like having a good old time, like while they're acting.
Yes.
But other than that, I hated everything else. But anyway, okay. So let's just do open discussion. Anybody, please jump in whenever. We don't need to go from person to person, because again, I don't know how much time we have. And
well, I mean, I almost don't even care about the story because the story was so stupid.
There is no story.
The story was dumb.
Like
the story was.
Oh my god! Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the story was dumb. So I'm not even going to talk about it. But Will, I'm sure you have plenty of things to say about how bad it was.
No, please, yeah, just please.
However, I wanted to also point out how unimaginably stupid the action is. Like in terms of, because usually when it comes to an action scene, generally the things I remember about it are the set pieces or the things that are, really high intensity or the really awesome soundtracks. In this movie, the things that I remember are the really stupid moments that just stand out like sore thumbs.
There are some dumb ones. I like the set pieces. I think there's some really cool stuff.
Are cool.
I really, and it, man, God, there's just so many things we could talk about.
Yeah,
I really like the opening. I think it's got a pretty strong opening until Dracula reveals his plan to Dr. Frankenstein, and we don't see that, and then it cuts back. He's like, "I would never do that," and then it's like, I don't know, it's dumb. But I like how it starts in like black and white, and all the people are mobilizing together to like kill the monster. That was cool, but after that, it kind of, and like when the monster says "why," and they all like stop. That's cool. There's some cool moments. I like Frankenstein a little bit.
I do.
He becomes a weird character near the end where he's just like constantly getting like shit on by everyone.
It's Frankenstein's monster. Even in the movie, they messed that. Even in the movie, they messed that up. I was like, no, that's the monster.
Well, they call him the monster.
No, they call him. I don't think they call him Frankenstein.
They call him the monster himself.
Yeah, whatever. I'm probably going to do that 100 times during this. So
that's okay.
But I mean, for pointing that out. So
yeah, that's fine.
Mark, you said so bad it's good, but when did it? Okay, well, go ahead. Well, we'll just kind of extrapolate on that.
So I'm going to start like right at the beginning, because this is when like I knew that like something was off, because I watched it on YouTube, and on YouTube it said it was an action, adventure, drama, and thriller. I don't think
that's funny. On Prime it says horror fantasy.
Okay, see,
not a horror at all.
I was so surprised that I thought of it. Okay, that's gonna sound really weird. I thought it came off as an unintentional Monty Python / Hot Shots kind of movie. So I was laughing the entire way through, and I was like, this has to be a comedy, and nowhere did it say that it was labeled as such.
Well,
because everything seemed like there were a lot of moments where like you would imagine, oh, like the crowd's supposed to poke fun, like that's like not poke fun in it, but like laugh at this moment because it's kind of a funny moment, even though like it's it's like the action is like so weird, or like what's happening is like so weird that like it just seems like it seems hilarious, like the part where the Dracula is like getting on to Frankenstein for trying to make his make his monster power his egg sac thingy. but then like he's like teleporting all over the place, which I didn't know vampires could do, but I guess they can now. And like Frankenstein even does like a comical like double take, like looking to see like where he was, and like I'm like, okay, that's supposed to be funny, but is it supposed to be funny? And then there were moments where like the action just seemed like absolutely ridiculous that like you have to laugh at it, and not be like, oh my gosh, I hope they're okay.
Well, and the biggest joke of all, of course, being the fact that Kate Beckinsale gets thrown into giant stone columns like 100 times.
She falls down like so many times. And it's like,
and what kills her is Hugh Jackman as a werewolf knocking her into a soft, comfy couch. It's like she's just dead.
I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, why would that kill her?
Yeah, because when you had texted us earlier that like, why hasn't she died yet? I hadn't seen the movie. I hadn't gotten that far into the movie yet, and then like all this stuff started happening to her, and I was like, all right, I guess she's not dead yet.
So. Yeah. Oh, and
that's why I say it's so bad that's good kind of thing, was because like I knew that like at some point I knew like, okay, they're trying to like be as serious and like as action packed and like as exciting as possible. But for me, of course, people can take this differently. There a lot of the moments were like hilarious.
So okay. So let me ask you this: were you laughing at it in the sense that it was like trying to be serious, but it was falling flat on its face?
Yes.
Okay. Because I mean, I guess I first I thought you were saying that tonally they were kind of going for a more slapsticky kind of Army of Darkness feel, which I don't think that's what they're going for, but that's not what you were saying anyways.
At first, I thought they were going for that, and then it got even funnier when I realized they weren't going for that, and they were falling flat on their face.
It's like an action adventure movie, and I don't know. Wow, there's so much to say. Briefly, I think Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale, and the Faramir guy, I can't think of his name. They all suck. They're all terrible.
Yeah, they're all terrible.
There's no character development. Kate Beckinsale's the worst out of all three, I think. She is so obnoxious and she bad actress. Like, I don't know. I guess I'd have to see her other stuff. Hugh Jackman's not really like a stellar actor. Like, he's not known for his acting abilities. And this one just makes it even more obvious because he's just like a blank slate, really. Where and he's a blank slate where the movie can just throw plot onto him. And then
Brendan Fraser is way more entertaining than he is in the Mummy movie. Way more entertaining.
I did a tiny bit of trivia research. I didn't see anything about if Brendan Fraser was in line to maybe be Van Helsing. I doubt it. Again, this came out like when Hugh Jackman was a huge part of
not Prime, but a huge part.
Just huge part. He was X-Men Mania and all that.
He's not a bad actor, but in this movie he was.
No, he's not. He excels dramatically in Logan.
I know there's just so much, but I want to get a little focused here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we don't have much time.
Let's start with that. So what is what drives Van Helsing?
I have
what he does.
No idea.
I thought it was like money, but the church. I don't think the church pays him.
No. Why did he lose his memory?
I wanted to call him a bounty hunter, but I'm like, he doesn't get a bounty. Like,
that would have been so easy, Mark. That's a great point. But no, he's like a servant of their order.
Yeah, it's almost
like they also get mad at him for killing people.
But he's like 400 years old too.
He doesn't like what you said, like putting things onto him. Like, he doesn't have his own goals. He only does what people tell him to do, but there's no like incentive for it. Like, there's no like promotion. There's no. This isn't even a revenge film,
Right, well, and it starts from the very beginning. Right as he's like walks back to the Vatican, they're like, you lost your memory and we found you, and then here's this ring, it's the same symbol and these words, here's the special words that you got to say to open the door. Like,
the ring thing was one of the stupidest things I ever
ring
saw.
Was like the amount of expository dialogue in this movie made me want to kill myself.
Infuriating. It is in.
Like, as characters are running, they're like, and then it's so bad. What is like? There's no more. Van Helsing has no moral compass. He's
Apparently
He
not.
talks about like wanting, like they try to make him like sympathetic towards Frankenstein's monster, and I wrote it down. He says,
I know exactly what you're about to say, and I found that stupid.
he says, I can sense evil, and that creature, evil does not rule it.
That was
And it's
stupid,
like, and then I thought like, well, you killed Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde wasn't evil, didn't rule Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde was somebody who was transforming. If anything, Dr. Jekyll needed help, but you had no problem watching Hyde die.
Yeah.
And I guess technically it wasn't his fault, but Van Helsing had every intention of killing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde because one, he shot him in the arm, then he put a freaking harpoon through his chest. Like I mean,
he even says like,
he
I don't
cut off his arm.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
again, and the Hyde stuff, as poorly utilized as Notre Dame is, other than like the bell, where they get the bell joke, and which is stupid.
Yeah, that was dumb.
They should not have killed Hyde off immediately. And if they were wanting, because this is the first, what was supposed to be a trilogy, they killed off everybody. Like,
I know.
You don't have
I was thinking
Dracula.
about that.
You don't have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which Hyde was, that's a fun character. Like, that's somebody who I could see.
He was
coming
actually
back.
my favorite villain of the
I thought,
entire
like,
movie.
It would have been completely plausible
Yeah, I
for
like
people to like, for him to like get away by transforming back into Dr. Jekyll and then like getting away somehow.
Yeah, I like the
No, he has to die.
Yeah, I like the idea of taking 19th century like supernatural monsters and stories and that kind of thing, kind of mixing it together in an action movie.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's, and this isn't the first one that's done that. There was another one, that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen,
Which came out a year before this.
Okay, so we should probably do that film at some point as well. I haven't seen it in forever,
It's worse.
but I know that's kind of similar.
It may not be worse. I don't know. It's similar. It's kind of similar, yeah.
Yeah, but so it's not a bad idea, but yeah, it's just, oh my god, the way
this movie, dude. So as I was watching it, like 10 minutes in, I took a break and then like I walked over and I ran into Bartosh. And I just was like, man, I was like, I'm watching this movie for the movie review. This is pretty good. 10 minutes in. And in your mind, it's like it's got all these great ideas. Yeah. Right? Like really a vampire hunting sect of the Vatican. Like I'm sure that's been done in fiction 100 times over, but it's a great idea. Cool to see it on the screen. This cinematic universe, right? Bringing together all of these universal monsters, werewolf, Frankenstein, Dracula.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, cool. Get a mummy tie-in at some point, sure. Like this is the precursor to like what Marvel does now, right? Like in a way, like mashing all of these things together into one thing. I mean, obviously that's been done before with like versus movies and stuff.
Of course.
But it's like it's got all of this promise. Like you got a leading man who's super popular at the time, cool gadgets. The action is dumb, and like the second half of action, like the action is really all this movie has going for it. But once they like everything like up in like once they get to like Frankenstein's castle and all the fighting that goes on there, and then they get to Dracula's castle, everything from that in between those parts is just terrible action. So yeah, I agree with you. The stuff in the town was pretty cool. I liked that where the vampire brides first attacked the town.
That was
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the part where they try to capture the werewolf and then Belkin gets bit. That could have been cool, but there was some really dumb stuff. Like the introduction of Kate Beckinsale was slow motion. She pulls out the sword. And then she just charges towards the trap. Why did she do that? Did she not know what the plan was?
Well, why did they all shoot
at save him?
Why did they all shoot at the trap and then broke the trap? I was thinking about that.
Why did none of them have silver bullets?
Right.
Why was he the only one who had silver bullets?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, this was like
it's dumb action. It's so dumb.
Yeah,
the time period was like what 1888, because like 1887 was like when like her father went missing.
It's the late 19th century.
I was like 1888. Isn't it like one of like the high points of like silver? Like why is there like an overabundance of silver?
I didn't think about that. That's funny.
I was like, y'all should have silver bullets.
I can look at that and say, okay, they're in like this backwoods area. Maybe they don't have a whole lot of access to. But then again, maybe not. I don't. Whatever. But
the key word here is dumb.
It's so dumb. That's the biggest turnoff for me. Is just because you can make a competent, semi-intelligent action movie and make it work and still have all of the goofy dialogue. The dialogue throughout this whole movie, that's worse than a dumb action.
It's
Dialogue
horrible.
is so bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, the dialogue in this movie is cringe-inducing, and I was looking at it like in perspective because you look at like the Marvel movies. I don't want to bring up Marvel the whole discussion, but like I know they have like quippy like dialogue throughout those films as well. This feels like it was trying that, which is funny because this was way before Marvel. Like
Yeah, it would have
4
been
years before Iron Man.
a few years before Iron Man.
Yeah, and it feels like a really awful attempt at, at what Marvel would end up doing.
Like humor wise, those jokes would be welcome in a Marvel movie if like just tweaked a little bit.
Might be right.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean it's the same thing. It's the dumb quippy, which that's in. I mean that's in Mummy, but it works in Mummy, I guess.
Well, they don't overdo it.
At least I think it works in Mummy. It's been a while since everyone. No, I'm confident in saying the Mummy probably holds up. Like I could watch it again. I think I have watched it more than this, but. Yeah, I don't know, man. This movie, it was bad. And like, there's just so many like things that are introduced that are just kind of like there because I guess like they just threw a whole bunch of stuff in, right? Like the dude with the top hat who's like leading the village, but he's not leading the village, and he just randomly dies. It's like
that was so
weird.
What was that even about?
Like, and he's there in the very beginning with Frankenstein's monster. I thought that was going to come back.
I actually thought he had like some decent lines before he died too.
He's an interesting character.
He was like, the werewolf doesn't attack me. I'm just the one who like buries its bodies or something like that. I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool line, And then
he dies immediately.
Yeah, and like it's like there's cool like it's always style over substance always. Like he flips and rolls into the grave,
and then like lays like this
instantly. Yeah, that's funny. Like that's entertaining. Like that's good stuff. Like there's a lot of stylish stuff, but it's always taking priority over like
stories,
characterization, any form of substance.
That's why there's more action in this movie than anything.
Dude, it's nonstop. This movie does not take a break. Like it is
it's
go. Like even when they get like that little break, like which is horrible because Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale have zero chemistry. But when they're like walking around the burned down windmill, they get like 2 or 3 sentences and it's quiet, 2 or 3 sentences to each other, and they fall through the hole into where Frankenstein is. Like
I thought that was like, jarring. I was like, "Are you serious?"
There's a lot of Deus Ex Machinas in this movie where it's like, and then this happens, and then this happens, and
this is Deus Ex Machina the movie.
Yeah, it's like everything just
5 minutes.
Yeah, somebody's always throwing someone something to save them from like a billion miles away.
That was hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
swinging around these cables around Dracula's castle. It is so.
Yeah, I call this is rope. It's rope swing the movie because it's like
more than Spider-Man.
Yeah, because there's like so much rope swinging in like the second half of the film.
Like the blocking is so stupid. Like it's funny to me because there are a couple of points of how blatantly obvious they're trying to hide it. So again, we're just kind of bringing up points at this because while we're talking about the action, when the third vampire woman dies, the third wife dies, where she gets stabbed in the heart, and then Kate, what's her name?
Beckinsale. Just say it.
And she drops that horrible line, and then she dies, and it's like. The friar like threw her the stake, and it's so funny when they do the shot to shot with their faces because he must have been like half a mile away on the bridge.
While it's raining.
Throw that.
Yes.
While it's raining and thundering, yeah.
It's so stupid.
It's awful. I don't know. I don't even like. Let's see. I thought I had written down that line that you're talking about because I remember thinking like, wow, that was.
It's
horrible.
Like if you're gonna kill someone.
Oh, if you're gonna kill someone, don't talk, just kill them. And I was just that's from
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
That was from Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yeah. And that was
it's way cooler in that movie.
Yeah.
She has the writing is so bad and nothing makes sense that like the characters have to actually tell us it makes sense. Because at one point okay, well let's open this can of worms. What the fuck is Dracula's plan? So he's been around for 400 years.
Yeah.
No. Since
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
the
the
1400s.
1300s.
Yeah, you're right.
The
Yeah, you're right.
1300s, 1400s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
14.
Oh, yeah,
1464.
he says because he says born 1462, died
Yeah.
1482. But so
Yeah.
yeah, like probably like around 400 years. Why is he? First of all, why is it when vampires fuck they make eggs?
They make
These-
gargoyles. Apparently,
Did these female vampires push giant eggs out of them? What? Why? And why does electricity? Do we need electricity to make them come alive? And why does it have to be Frankenstein's monster's special electricity juices to make them like live longer?
apparently,
It is
apparently,
so
he can last
dumb.
long enough.
Stupid.
And so there's a line like in the movie as they're like running around Frankenstein's castle. Kate Beckinsale's character goes, "Vampires was The Walking Dead. It only makes sense vampires are born dead." And she says, "It only makes sense." So let me say that again. Vampires are The Walking Dead. It only makes sense vampires are born dead. So she's saying they're The Walking Dead, so they're born dead. But it's like, first of all, that's the dumbest line ever. And I love that they tack in, it makes sense. Stupid audience. All the people in the audience like eating their popcorn.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
No, it sounds
Barely
like,
even
it sounds like,
paying
that, it sounds like
attention.
the Inception episode of South Park where he's like, they're explaining like all the levels, and he's like, "No, it's okay, it makes sense."
So why is it that when they lose their electricity, I know, I'm sorry, it's not even worth
No,
getting
go
into.
ahead. Please,
not
we
even
have
worth
to
getting-
discuss how stupid
It's not even
this
worth
is.
getting into because it's just such a waste of breath because it's just supposed to be dumb. It's so dumb. It doesn't, there's not even worth discussing, but it just was like driving me crazy.
Go ahead.
So why is it after they lose their electricity, they explode? But before they have their oh man, we got 10 minutes. Darn. Why is it that they don't explode before they get electricity in them?
I don't know.
Like when do they just like all just kind of power down? Although I will say when they all explode in Dracula's castle and the guts rain down and douse out the giant torches, the giant flame braziers, braziers. I don't know.
Yeah, it's giant pits.
Yeah, the giant fire pits. That was cool. I was like, that's good. Like
Yeah.
there's some little touches here and there that I like. Anyway, I have been
And
talking
that's the thing,
nonstop,
it's
and
like this movie-
we have 10 minutes left. So somebody else say something.
we should do.
Will,
we should-
it's like the way the movie was, because you were talking about style over substance. It's like somebody had these cool scenes and cool moments and cool
Mhm.
ideas
Mhm.
and put
Like you said, the
zero
blocking.
thought,
Yeah,
and
the block.
put zero thought into how any of that stuff was connected. So they
Yeah.
just came up with the first thing that popped into their head.
And it's
just
like-
oh,
it's
okay, we'll
like-
do it like that.
Van Helsing being an angel was added on near the end. It feels tacked on because there's nothing that they show at all other than the stupid little animatic where the soldiers fight each other in the painting. But like, let's see a fucking flashback. What would be cool? He lays there, he sleeps. He goes to sleep on his bed, and we get a dream flashback sequence of him in Rome. And then instead of him just saying, "I remember fighting the Romans," like, what? Like he's already saying that like in the first 15 minutes of the movie. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, and then it's like,
And,
okay,
and that's
he's an
kind of cool concept to have like this
It
ancient
is, but
reborn
it's
warrior.
it's tacked on. Like
And
I
they do
said.
nothing with it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. We got 8.5 minutes left. I'm gonna leave.
Be-
The floor is
be-
open to y'all.
Best scene, worst scene.
Best scene, worst scene. Oh God, I don't even know. There's so many bad scenes.
There's a lot
I
of
know.
bad scenes. I hate the carriage scene.
That
It's
was
like-
so
Which
dumb.
scene?
Where they have like the duplicate
Oh.
carriage, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
and if you please go back, you don't have to go back and watch it.
No,
But these carriages are actually treated now. Okay, I realize one of them is full of explosive stakes
Mhm.
for some reason, but
I guess they knew.
why do these carriages catch on fire and act like they're like like cars? Like they legit, like the top of that carriage that they're in like burns for like 5 minutes, and it's not until like the vampire shows up and rips it open that the fire starts to billow. The carriage scene is where I officially turned my brain off.
Okay.
It was probably off before that, but best scene.
Like
I don't
it
know,
could be unironically like good. Like you laughed at like so hard at it. or something,
I
but
like
it's
how
so
it
bad.
opened. I like the opening moments where Helsing is hunting Hyde,
Mhm.
He was walking through the streets of Paris. He sees the dead body,
Mhm.
and then he hears the screaming, comes to the dead body, and sees Hyde up in Notre Dame. That part's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And then
I thought
when
that
he,
was pretty cool.
yeah, and Hyde is fun. He's a fun character, just underutilized. Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Matthew,
next?
go ahead.
Oh man, that's hard. Like I said, so much of this movie was really stupid, but I think as horrible as the whole like coordination and the pacing and the blocking and everything about that last scene in the castle, as horrible as that whole thing is, that's the part where I actually started to have fun because I was just laughing at how stupid it was. I'm like, I can't believe this. This is
When
so
they're in
bad.
Dracula's castle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That because like the whole swinging with the ropes and oh, by the way,
awful.
kid, and I want to bring up a little point. We don't have to talk about it because I know we don't have a whole lot of time. It's kind of stupid that apparently Dracula's weakness is werewolves. That's
don't
dumb to
even
me.
get me started. That was so dumb. And why can he control them?
I
never
don't know.
explained.
I don't know. It has something to do with the first night. I don't know.
They do a throwaway line of like, oh, a vampire with a strong will can resist him. Why? Why can he control werewolves in the first place?
Yeah.
He doesn't even make werewolves.
It's so dumb.
What's the connection? Anyway, sorry. Okay.
No, but yeah, that whole thing.
Your least favorite scene, Matthew?
Yeah, I would say that's probably my favorite scene. The worst scene.
Okay.
I don't. It's probably.
Oh my god! Keep going.
It's probably any of the exposition scenes. I hated the scene with the werewolf in the castle, where he was stalking the girl, Kate. What's her face? I hated that scene because it was trying to be scary and tense, and it just wasn't. It was the dumbest thing ever. It was laughably bad, but I wasn't laughing. I was just annoyed.
Yeah. It's like the whole missing hero fake out, where it's like, where are the other heroes? But they're just like using her for bait. It's so dumb.
It's so bad. That scene is so awful, and it took me a while just to remember that scene because I completely blocked it out of my memory. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm changing my least favorite scene. It's the ending with the faces in the clouds. That's my least favorite.
That's dumb.
This movie has a terrible ending. Okay, Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, my least favorite scene was probably when they first fought the werewolf in the woods.
Oh, okay. I actually was okay with that. I was okay with that. It's just some really bad stuff, but keep going.
Yeah, I didn't like that scene. I'll briefly touch on it. I just thought like it was stupid that only one of the guns had the bullets.
Very stupid.
That all of them decided to fire at it because I knew for a fact they were going to hit the rope and
nobody seems to know what the plan is.
The girl pulls out the sword in slow motion, starts charging after him. That was also incredibly stupid. But my favorite scene. Let's see. Hold on, we got some time. Favorite scene. My gosh, I'm sorry. There are actually so many for me because it's just so bad that it's good. Because there was one that I almost like lost my shit laughing, but I couldn't because Chelsea was working behind me. Gosh, there was. I think it was like near the beginning. Yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was definitely one of the best scenes, but not because I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at it. I was actually having fun along with it. Okay, there's tons, but we don't have a lot of time. I think the worst one was probably the friar trying to run across the bridge, can't deliver the antidote because he's missing part of the bridge, and he throws the freaking antidote at her.
Were you you're having a blast during that scene?
Well, that one was probably, I was just like, this is incredible, and I almost like lost my shit.
No, they're just like
and that's when I texted you, Will. That's when I texted like the group saying this is the best movie ever.
I was like, all right. I knew you would dig it, like for just how dumb it was.
Yeah.
But, okay, all right. Well, that's good. We set our best and worst. That's a good idea. We should do that in the future. I like doing the best favorite scene, least favorite scene.
Ratings.
Okay, Mark, you first.
I'm going to give it. Oh gosh. Can I give it a score based on what
Mark, your rating is your own rating.
I'm going to give it a solid 7.5 because of it was so bad that it was good.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matthew?
I
had it at a 7 before going into this, so
I will give it a 3.
That's good. That's a good score. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well deserved.
3 for me as well. I said 3 out of 10. Not enough faces in clouds. Like when the beginning and the ending scene looks up and he's like sees her face in the clouds. I was just like, holy shit. And there's like
And the tear goes down her cheek.
nobody says anything. They just write out. And okay, as one of the most memorable things, one of the things that sticks with me over the years from this movie is that theme, the guitar theme. But holy shit, do they use it a lot? They play it like 6 times. Anytime like they start walking, it's like and they start walking, like just walking. Okay, now we gotta go from point A to B. I was just like, oh my god. They used it, I think 6 times. I think they played it 6 times if you count the ending.
Yep.
Dude, Dracula
they were like, this is a good song.
Dude, Dracula was getting his ass kicked.
I know he gets dunked on, and I love how much he like laughs. I love when Frankenstein throws the giant like power conduit into him when he goes into the furnace.
I was like, what was that?
It's so good.
So
All right.
stupid.
We got less than a minute, boys. Thank you for joining. We will figure out what our next movie is in
Great
chat.
choice, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'm not even joking when I say that.
Fantastic.
I'm
choice.
glad we could start off with a bang.
Yes.
Do this again in a few weeks or something. All right.
All right, lads.
There you go.
Catch you
Later.
later.